You are looking live at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which appears to have gone parabolic. I typically don't cover this index because it's only 30 stocks, but it's definitely the leading index as it's making new highs. If I go back to the monthly chart, if Market Smith is going to cooperate here, yeah, you can see it took out that 36,952, and the last couple of months have been real stellar. Nearly 5% this month and 8.7% in November. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average definitely looking strong. Took out the high from 36,952 from the first weekend at 2022. So it's been nearly 2 years for the Dow Jones. I don't cover it because it's only 30 stocks. Price weight. I think United Healthcare is the highest price stock, but it's Boeing and Johnson and Visa and Procter and Gamble and I guess Apple and Microsoft are a couple of names that I'm interested. But the Dow Jones is definitely the leading index right now. The S&P is very close to making a new high here. A 4808, that was back in, I mean, 4818, where is this? 4818, yeah, the first week of 2022 also came very close. 4793, close at 4783, so it's very close and could take out a new high here pretty soon. And the Nasdaq, at least that's 500 stocks. The Nasdaq not really close, 1,200 points away, roughly 1,100 from taking out a new high. So it's got a long way to go, but it's looking good as well. The other index is the Russell, which I think is going to have the best year in 2024. Why? Because it's been down so long. It's really been beat up. Hasn't made a high since November of 21. So it's been more than a couple of years here that it's just been, just wallowing down here. I think with the rates coming down in 2024, that the IWM or the Russell 2000 or the TNA, whichever vehicle you use, is going to outperform. But that's just my opinion. Okay, I want to take a look at. I'm going to go back to the Nasdaq here and just take a look at today's action. It was down a whopping 4 points or 0.03%, closed at 15,095. The high, like I said, was 16,212 from November of 21. Yeah. And the volume was about average, but below the last few sessions. And, it looked like window dressing to me today. This is kind of what I expected all week. Just low volume. They're buying Apple. The fund managers need to have Apple on their books, right? But it's a low volume move here. 43 cents, not a big deal. Microsoft, same thing. This thing has been trading sideways, and actually, that looks like a flat base pattern. It's been about 5 weeks here. It was up $1.21. Like I said, low volume. And this looks like window dressing, but yeah, that looks like a flat base here. It had a 3 weeks tight, and in the last couple of weeks, just flattening out on light volumes. Microsoft looks pretty good, but eventually it's going to have to make a move here. Meta Platforms was up, barely. Like I said, it just looked like low volume window dressing to me. On the session today, and probably be even slower tomorrow. So many people are saying, I'm going to sleep watching this tape. I said, go out and do something, don't watch the tape. Amazon, as flat can be there. Google, yeah, flat. Yeah, just end of the year. The action is pretty much gone for this year. So Tesla, I know, sold off a little bit today. Yeah, pulled back. That's a nice pullback, 3%. And just trading slightly above its 10 there. Essentially a pullback to the 10 EMA today. And NVIDIA, just trading sideways, just flat. Look at this low volume going nowhere, just sideways action. And which reminds me, before I get on to my semiconductor software, cybersecurity, drug stocks, and just random stocks, I got to take one more look here at the Nasdaq because, it's gotten a little bit ahead of itself, taking profits. You know, some people may ask me about taking profits. I think it's wise because the market's going to correct. Yesterday it was 8% above its 50 SMA, and today it's 7.8. And I pointed out, you know, last rally, once it got up, you know, got up to 9, there's 10, and then it pulled back immediately, right? So then it got back up here again at 8, 8.2. 8.5, then it pulled back. It actually dove pretty hard here and that started the correction. So a pullback, you know, it could correct in two different ways. It could correct through price, or it can correct through time. But these moving averages are going to catch up to the index at some point. They always do. And so that's why I say it'd be wise, you know, ring the register and you know, take some profits here and let it come back. Even if it goes higher and you ring the register, you know, you can't be one of those people who just laments, like I could have had more money, or you got to protect capital. You got to preserve capital. And that's the name of the game here. You don't want to get too greedy after this big run here. Like I said, it's 7.8% above the 50, and it's going to pull back. And some people were saying they were in the TNA, and they, you know, you made a big move here. Let me go to this comparison chart here. On 10/27 is when, you know, the market started behaving better. This thing's up 90% here. So you'd be crazy not to take some off the table. That's a 2-month move of 90% on a exchange traded fund. That's a heck of a move. And more importantly, I think for TNA, and this one is yeah, 40% above its 50. That's going to come in a little bit. It's 5.9% above the 10. Just you know that the fast moving averages are, you know, going to catch up faster, obviously, but even the slower ones of 50 here, I think it's going to be bullish, and I believe that this is going to have a great year in 2024 when the 50 trades through the 200 here, and that'll happen. You know, providing that everything, you know, goes okay, and if it just trades sideways, the 200 will stay, you know, kind of flat, while the 50 will power higher because it's had such a strong move here in the last 2 months. Anyway, just wanted to point that out. You know, it's going to correct through either price or time. I don't want it to do something like this and just crash. That freaks everybody out. Even though it provides a buying opportunity, I'd rather see it do just something like this, just kind of wallow around here, this 40, 42 area, and let these moving averages catch up. Same with the Nasdaq, you know, they're a little extended, and same with the Dow Jones. That the entire market is likely to correct through price over time here. And I'm not predicting anything. That's just what happens over time. The moving averages do catch up. All right, I went through the Magnificent Seven, whatever stocks, and I just wanted to point out a couple of names here. The semiconductor space, Advanced Micro. There was a report today that they're going to announce a new graphics card on January 24th. This stock has just been on a heater, you know, ever since it broke above its downtrend line, and we had it on our ready list there. I don't know, I had to look. I think it was about 116 or 112 right there. But anyway, once it broke above, it really made a nice move and then pulled back to the 21 only one time, pulled back to the 10. And now, you know, it's extended, you know, it's way above the 10 there, 5.5%. and 24% above the 50. So you want to see your stocks going higher. Obviously, you buy a stock, you want it to go higher, but you don't want it to get overheated where it's going to crash and burn. So just want that one to go sideways as well. That's one of my largest holdings in all transparency. It is my largest holding, actually. Okay, AVGO, Broadcom, another one that is, you know, ripped real high, right? It had a big parabolic move and now going sideways, and that's what you want to see, have these moving averages catch up. That looks pretty good if you're interested in catching a bid on Broadcom there. I think that you might get an opportunity here in January, but that one looks very good. Even Intel's had a heck of a run. And gosh, since I'm since I'm in the mood, I'm going to go to the let's see how these have done since the rally started there on the 27th, or stopped going lower. Intel's up 41%. My goodness. AMD up 54%. NVDA 22, not bad. What was the other one? Oh, ARM, the IPO is up 57%, very nice. And Broadcom. So these semiconductor stocks are definitely leading this rally here since the market stopped going down. We had our follow through day. And there you go. That's nice performance there. I'm going to get to ARM a little later. I believe, maybe not. I lied. I'm not. Okay, that's it for the semiconductors. They're performing well. If we're going to have a AI rally, a bull market, which I believe we're starting a new bull market, the semiconductors and the software names are going to be, I shouldn't say leaders. They're going to perform well, and I think Monday is one. This is what, 9 billion market cap stock.
Could you try again?
Siri, stop it. Monday, anyway, I'm doing an IPO video this weekend from stocks that IPO'd from 2019 and beyond, and that have a market cap of less than like 20 billion, and Monday certainly fits in. I'm going to do about 20 stocks because I'm trying to hit grand slams, and they're going to be smaller cap stocks. And this is one that, it's made this bottom here and then kind of got into this little base consolidation and didn't really break out. It's kind of like a base on base pattern. Had a 3 weeks tight and moved higher, but I believe once it breaks above that, 190 level, this could have a really strong move. I mean, it was like a $400 stock, 450, and not all that long ago. I mean, it took off like a rocket ship, then corrected. This is a due diligence phase. And now once it gets into its advanced stage, this thing could really move. So it's definitely one that I am watching Monday, and it's been on our ready list here. And you can see it's just kind of pinching in here and flattening out, which is very healthy. There's not any buyers willing to sell. I mean, there's not any sellers willing to sell. Not many buyers either, but once the buyers come in, it could really catapult Monday. So that's definitely one that I'm watching. Snow is another one. It's not in part of my video because it's too large. It's a 66 billion company, but you could see the cup with handle pattern. Now it's just kind of, respecting the 10 here, getting support. As long as that 10 is going higher and the stock stays above it, guess what? The stock's going higher. So that one looks good to me as well. Datadog is another one that's too big for my IPO video, but it's another one that I like. If you look at the weekly chart, you can see that how big this base is, and it really hasn't even broken out yet. But Datadog looks good to me. And also ServiceNow, this one's working on a 5 weeks tight pattern here, real tight trading, volume drying up. ServiceNow looks fantastic. I know some people at MC Stock Charts who are doing well with ServiceNow. So congrats to you folks. Anyway, that's it for me. Crowd, I just got to include Crowd. Another IPO from 2019 I can't include. It's just gotten too big, but it's doing nothing wrong. Once again, this thing's trading tight on the weekly. You can see this tight pattern. It is flagging a little bit. So I'm looking for a nice January from CrowdStrike. I like this pullback to the 10, real calm, real tame, pinching in there, volume drying up. My gosh, whisper like volume today. Zscaler, very similar. Same thing. It's a little bit above more. It's more above its 10 than CrowdStrike is, but still, respecting the 10, showing strength. Palo Alto Networks, they closed the deal today. I forget the company, doesn't matter. But it did pull back, a couple of bucks. And once again, it's got this like pinching type action here. This one's below its 10, it's at the 21. And you definitely, in this tape, I don't want to see my stock going below the 21. It's only 0.5% above the 21. So Palo Alto is going to have to get on the stick. Fortinet, one that, made a couple of earnings disappointments. It made a bottom and now it's just, traded right through its 50, kind of stalling here at 60, but I believe it'll probably make another move above the 60 level and the 200 SMA and challenge that gap that it has to fill there at 74.15. Another stock that I like. OKTA, this is one that we have on our ready list at MC stock charts. And you got to go to the weekly on these. Big base. You can see this thing has been consolidating for a long time. Pretty decent growth profile here, above 20%, triple digit earnings. Yeah, Okta looks pretty good to me. You got to be patient with it though. It's not going to just rip, 25% in a week, but definitely a stock to watch. Okay, I'm going to get out of the cybersecurity software. I did the Mag 7. I did the semiconductors, and then we're going to go to drug stocks. I'm going to go to more speculative drug stocks, the ones that have been performing well. You can see it broke out of this base here, 969, pulled back to its 21, just ripping higher now and just finding support at the 10, which is, what yesterday's video was all about. And today made a nice move, 5%. Scholar Rock holding biotech stock. ALXO, you should write these ticker symbols down. As long as they're finding support at the 10, that looks good to me. I know they're low price. Some people get on me for highlighting like Chipotle and these Broadcom, these $1,000, $2,000 stocks. I can't help it. They want some lower price stocks. So here you go. Here's some real speculative stocks that are lower price. So that really doesn't bother me. EYPT is iPoint. This is a heavy short interest. Gapped higher on news, pulled back to the 10, found support. It was down a little bit today, 2%, but definitely one to watch above that 24.16. I think it broke above there yesterday, the day before, and then pulled back 24.62. Yeah, is the high. So it's definitely bumping up against that high there. So iPoint to me looks pretty good. And then TGTX is another one. These guys have a drug with real sales and earnings growth. So this is not a speculative play, really. I just expect it to close the gap here. And I looked at the call options today, and there's a lot of people think it's going to close the gap as well. In the month of January, that's the $20. The low is 1956, so the $20, I believe the monthly strike there for TGTX. Anyway, I'm just going to go through some stocks randomly. The year is closing down. It's kind of quiet trading. POWL has had a good year. I don't expect much from it, but it is setting up here in a base. This is why I like it. It pulled back to its 21 today and found support, and I'd like to see it above that 90 level with some volume. But POWL is definitely one of interest. Bros, this is another one that's going to be part of my my IPO video that I'm going to create this weekend. It's got a 5.6 billion market cap. They're spending a lot of money to grow, and that's part of the growing pains. But Bros grows, and you can see when it IPO'd, it had a nice big move, and then now is going through its due diligence phase. But if it can get into an advanced phase, Bros could have a good year in 2024. So that's another one with the 1.8 up down volume. So somebody's buying this stock. Yeah, just a little over 5 billion market cap. So Bros, I kind of like, and it's definitely uptrending. As you can see, the shorter term moving averages rallied through the longer term moving averages. So Bros is another one that I like. APP, I don't know what to make of this one. It's it trades kind of wild. It had this double bottom pattern. It looked like it was going to break out, then broke below its 50, and then rallied back through it, and then traded back down to its 21. A little helter skelter. You could see the big rip, and then he gave it, half of it back. So kind of wild stock there, but one to watch for sure. ETRN, this is one of those transportation or natural gas stocks, a little slower moving. You can see the big base here and just kind of handling out above its 10, looks pretty good. It's a slower mover, but I think you got to look around here at some of these transportation, stocks there, the natural gas. Some of them have been doing pretty well, including Tidewater, which is another one that had this big base here, consolidation, and it looked like it was going to break out and just pull right back. So half the stocks do that. They pull back to their pivot point, and half of them, move on to higher prices, and half of them fail. But it's still well above its 10 EMA here, 4.2% above the 10. So Tidewater looks pretty good to me. And the last one is Netflix. And this one is just big consolidation area, pull back to the 21. Now it's just really flattening out as the volume profile. It's just really drying up here. That's what you expect with holiday trading, but pinching in nicely. Like it above the, like to get it above the 485 area. I mean, actually the 500 area had trouble with 500, hit there one time, pulled back and hasn't been able to hit 589 and then pull back. So anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow's Friday, probably going to be another slow day. That's okay. I'll have a watch list, a ready list for tomorrow morning. And I mentioned the IPO video, so I lied. I'm not going to end there. One more thing in honor of the great Steve Jobs. I am planning to do a video with roughly 20 stocks that IPO'd from 2019. And by the way, our IPO market has not been very strong this year. I did show you ARM, and Kava was another one. I'm doing okay. Birkenstock's doing better than I thought. But it hasn't been a real robust IPO market in 2023. Maybe in 2024, we get a little more of a bull market, and companies will come public, feel a little more comfortable about the market. There's still a lot of bears out there, bearish people. And anyway, just want to show a couple of stocks that I'm going to include in the video. And this is Unity Software, and you could see when IPO'd, it was really a rocket. And then, when the Nasdaq sold off is $210, this thing corrected, pretty quickly, down to 21. Wow. That's quite a sell-off, 210 to 21. Ooh. But anyway, you can see this month it's up 44%, doing a little better. This week it's up 8%. This is still, to me, a stage one base that it's trying to emerge from. You can see it made a low and retested the low and then retested it again and now has moved higher. Said it's up, what did I say for the month? 40 something percent, 44 and 8% this week. Starting to move out of this base here. And if this thing could emerge, I'm not saying it could be a $210 stock again, but you could make a pretty good trade here with Unity, I believe. That's one of them that I'm going to. And then S is another one. This is a market cap of 8 billion. And this one IPO'd, and it IPO'd at the wrong time, right before the crash, right in July, and then it went up pretty good, up to 78 in 2021, then sold off, with the bear market. And you can see this consolidation here. That's a monthly chart. Let me get to the weekly, right here, and then it broke out after earnings. Its earnings report, right there's the breakout. Very nice, trade range, breaking out of this stage one base and emerging into stage two. How much is it up this month? 46%. So like Unity, U and S is one, and A is not the third one, not USA. What was the third one, Marty? I'm losing it. GTLB is another one that I like. So not USA, GTLB. This is a 10 billion market cap. So a little bit out of the, the small cap range, getting more towards a mid cap, although with inflation, the small caps are supposed to be 2 billion, but it's probably more like 10 billion now. But you can see how it IPO'd, went up and then sold off, did its due diligence. Now it's emerging out of a stage one base. So if you want to hit a grand slam, you got to get some of these smaller cap names. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go through 20 of them. So I'm just trying to, highlight, my video and pump my video up. So look for that. I'm going to put it on my mcstockcharts.com website for those who subscribe and those who are looking to hit grand slams with some of these smaller cap stocks. Anyway, thank you for watching. One more session in 2023, then it's on to 2024. Happy New Year. Thank you for watching.